Last but not least on our show, bringing on a great friend, Alex Garcia, who is running to be your next Justice of the Peace. We're going to talk about the importance of justice courts in Texas, and we also want to welcome him back because this is not the first time. He came in the spring. He's asking for your vote now. It's now the World Series of the elections. Don't forget to get out there and register. Get out there to do early voting and get out there. Alex Garcia, welcome. How are you?
Thank you, Joe.
Or should I say your honor in November?
Let's just wait. Let everybody come out and vote, but I appreciate that.
And the question has to be asked. Look, we've got Carlos Valdez, who was a prosecutor, very successful one, running for judge now. And you, after serving, on city council, family business, with corporate America too, and community activism, and now you want to be a judge. People ask, why the judge? Why this stage in your life?
Probably the common thread you see through all the things that I've done is that of giving back. I'm a firm believer that we need to be able to give back to the community. I'm out there today, I serve on multiple boards because I have a desire to make a difference. I know what humble beginnings are because I remember when we had nothing and my dad instilled in us education and the importance of allowing and helping others, and I want to be able to do that. As JP, I've used that. As JP, God willing, come November the 4th, I'll be able to help not only individuals that are in homes, renters, but those individuals that have business owners where they're losing hot check writers or they're losing profits that they're trying to use to survive. And it's very important that those life experiences are brought to that court, because if you're able to do that, then you're able to make a difference. Truancy cases. As we all know, truancy is a big issue. We have a truancy epidemic going on in this community today. 60% of the cases that come before the JPs are all about truancy. I'm a believer and advocate of scholarships. I've been on Bug Days for 17 years. We've given almost $800,000 in scholarships. Well, I will bring that to the court, that experience. I'll be able to tell them how they can apply for those type of dollars that they can hopefully succeed and go forward. We've got the Craft Training Center today. Today, a craft training center can take an individual graduating from high school, get them to become welders, and guarantee them almost a $20 an hour job at the end of that certification. But if individuals aren't taught that, if we don't tell them what their options are, we're going to lose them. At the end of the day, they become statistics in our system and they cost us all money.
Well, very well said. One of the things that we want to bring out, you brought up one thing that was very controversial, but it was effective. Hopefully, past November, your counterpart, Judge Joe Benavides, was so tired of the truancy, especially one really serious case where the lady, I think, lived within 50 yards of the school. And her excuse was, I just have a hard time getting up to get the kids to school. So he sent the police officers out. They handcuffed her and took her in for 60 days or whatever of truancy missed, on the kids. And I guess the old sayings, discipline one, scare 10,000. The truancy stopped in its tracks. Are you prepared to do that as far as what it takes to go to that extreme, arrest a parent if needed?
If you have to, you have to. That's why we have the laws in place. We've got to take actions according to the laws. I think what I want to do is be proactive. Could there have been a venue to get in front of that lady or that individual to say, if you don't do this, this is what's going to happen. I'm very serious. Whether you meet them on their turf, whether you meet them in the courts, whether you meet them at the schools. And also explain to the students, I think if students understand that their parents could be arrested and they could be possibly put in child preventive services of some sort, or somebody else overseeing their well-being, you know what? That child may take the initiative to get up themselves to get themselves to school if they understand what the consequences are. But if we're always being reactive and not being proactive, we're going to break the system eventually.
Well, very well said. The other issue that was very hot this year, tow truck activities. It was come to our attention here on this show and others that certain unscrupulous tow truck drivers were, the sticker expired in 1 month. Apartment complexes were saying, pick up the cars. Some people 5, 7, 8 days late on their sticker. Handicapped people were getting their cars towed. Seniors were getting their cars towed. And not to be disparaging, it's a hard job. There are very honest tow truck drivers out there, but for those that are towing without any restraint, what's your take on that?
You know, there is a law. I think what we need to do is find out a way that we can remedy the situation and say, it's not going to, you know, once your car gets towed, several things happen. Number one, it can get damaged. Then there's not any, nobody wants to take responsibility for the damage that happened to the car that didn't have it before it got towed. In addition to that, you've got excessive fees because now you've got storage as much as $60 a day to get your vehicle back, besides providing proof of insurance and getting everything else done. But we've got to be proactive. The issue becomes this, is if the vehicle's there less than 24 hours, is it the right thing to do to have it towed or not? The reality is, I don't believe it is. I think there's a solution. We just need to figure out what it is. But we've got to work with the business owners, we've got to work with the complexes, and we've got to work with those individuals that own those vehicles to make it proactive. Once again, it's too hard in today's day and time for somebody to have to write a $500 check sometimes to get their car out of the pound. And the issue is, how do we get it? And then when damage occurs, who takes responsibility for that?
Well, and the Justice Court has gone up to $10,000 in the amount in controversy. That's a big deal. I mean,
sir,
most you know, neighbor, landlord-tenant, consumer cases are under 10,000. So, and then you guys are also setting bonds. Also looking at occupational licenses. The role in Nueces County of the Justice of the Peace has expanded. What's your plan or vision in order to, you know, obviously people, the question is, do you need to have a legal background to be a Justice of the Peace? Because you may be hearing car wreck cases, you may be hearing consumer law cases, landlord-tenant. It's a big deal. Are you ready to step up to the plate? What's the plan?
Absolutely. You have to step up to the plate. I wouldn't have asked to run for this position or even considered it. I didn't think I could represent the citizens of the community fairly and justly and be impartial in all those cases. The reality is this, is that today we have a judicial system that will train all the JPs. The one common thread of all the JPs we have to have, you have some that were entrepreneurs, some that were Marines, some that were school administrators, and it's proven that we have a judicial system that trains those individuals to be able to enforce justice regardless of the case and abide by the law. I think there's some interpretations and there's certain areas that sometimes fall in a gray area, but there's always somebody to access. With my business background, the fact that I've had 6 businesses, that I've raised my kids and educated them here in Corpus Christi, the fact that I continue to give back to the community, I think it affords me the ability to be very open on what the processes are and understand that it's about impartiality. And we've got to be able to follow the law. That's why it's there.
Well, we've got a couple of minutes left, knocking on a couple of 100,000 doors. First of all, your area is which place and which precinct?
I'm Alex Garcia, Precinct 2, Place 2. It runs from Flower Bluff to Everhart. Then it gets what we call gerrymandered, and you love that word, I'm sure, where it comes south of Holly up to Alameda. So we're on this side.
And you're near IWA, my area?
We're across the street from IWA, basically, which is on Alameda Street. Then it goes up to Castores. Then it gets gerrymandered from Crosstown down to Staples and Alameda up to Ayers. So it really gets gerrymandered when you look at that area. So I actually, if you look at the big boxes, you get Clayburg Bank on Ayers, and you get HEB Plus in Flower Bluff.
Mexicano, y güero, no le hace. Yeah, you have a very broad area to campaign.
Yes, sir.
So, you know, those viewers which are within our viewing and earshot, what would you like to tell them, knocking on all their doors? Why should they vote for you over your opponent?
I believe because, number one, I believe in the open door process. I believe that we have to be able to be accessible by the public, whether it's those men that are in law enforcement that are seeking warrants to be signed because other qualities of lives could be affected, that we're available 100% of the time. The fact that I'm bilingual, and that no matter who comes in the court, number one, I'll save the court's money because I won't ever need a translator.
Boom.
And so I think that's very important. And the fact that you have an individual that you can reach out to, someone who's involved, someone that you don't see when it's elections and when it's not elections, somebody you see all the time. I've been involved for many years. Today I serve still on 9 different boards because I believe in giving back. And I think it's about the sincerity of the individual to be able to elect them. And the fact that, number one, if they're educated, you know they're trainable, and the fact that they're willing to learn and open up their hearts and their doors for anybody that's willing to ask the questions.
Alex Garcia, your next judge, Precinct 2, Place 2. I also see that you have a button on your lapel. And why are you wearing that today, sir?
Because it's very important that we understand that we have a disease, a very deadly disease that has no enemies, and that's cancer. And as you know, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Week, and it affects so many lives. And if you want to talk about something that costs you money, that costs lives, that causes to hurt, it's cancer. And we all need to remember that during the month of October, we all need to be out there to fight the fight together as one big family.
And I want to thank you, and on behalf of my wife, who told me to say this as a registered nurse, November, Diabetes Awareness Month. Yes. Will you join me and wear blue in order? And we're going to try to light up the Harbor Bridge blue on November 14th, World Diabetes Awareness, as well as Breast Cancer Awareness. Ladies and gentlemen out there, whether you have a wife, a mother, daughter, get everybody screened for breast cancer and learn how to do prevention and detection of lumps, and also get to your primary care practitioner as soon as possible. Thank you for bringing out that button.
The one thing I'd like to add, Joe, if I may, is that today there are certain entities, radiologists, that have what they call a 3D, that's able to do preventive x-rays on individuals when they go and get mammograms. And I would recommend, sometimes the difference is a $50 copay, but I will tell you, based on the 3D and what we've seen through that education of the new equipment that's out there, you can actually catch some cancers if you go into your doctor or physician and you talk to them and you ask them to do the 3D process. It's out there. Help yourself.
Very well said. And Alex Garcia, running to be your next judge, Precinct 2, Place 2, runs from Flower Bluff, Everhart, the gerrymandered areas also here in Corpus. So he's going to see a broad base of people asking for your vote. Thank you for coming on, Alex. I appreciate it.
Joe.
Best of luck. And
Appreciate
everybody out there, salgan a votar, regístrese a votar, porque cuando todos votamos, todos ganamos. Y si no vas a ir a votar, no puedes quejar después. So you've got to go out there and vote. Alex Garcia running for Justice of the Peace, Precinct 2, Place 2. That's all the time we have left. Thank you all, and God bless.